What's going on, everybody? John Eric Polai here with My MMA News, and today I am joined by one of the newest members of the UFC roster, Zachary Reese. Zach just picked up a big win on Dana White's Contender series to get his UFC contract. Zach, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate the time, and congrats on the contract.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on.
So, obviously, a lot goes into a Contender series fight. Here we are talking about it about 7 days, 6-7 days removed from the event. Just has it all sunk in, this whole entire experience of being able to fight in front of Dana White and getting that contract like that?
Yeah, it's definitely sunk in, man. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty surreal. The fight itself just felt like another fight, but yeah, the aftermath of it was a hell of a trip to Vegas. One I'll remember for the rest of my life for sure.
And I know for you, a lot of emotions coming into the fight, too. The UFC always does such a wonderful job putting together those pre-fight packages. And you had mentioned during your story about losing your brother and just what that was like. And he was obviously very close, and he always wanted to see you make the UFC. Just, talk about that a little bit, what it was like being able to honor him in the way that you did on fight night.
That's a really nice way to put it, man. And yeah, I talked about that too, that with my brother's death and stuff, I wasn't gonna let it affect me negatively. I wanted it to affect me positively, and I know that's how he would have wanted it too. So it really did, man. It lit a fire under my ass, and yeah, it just made me more appreciative and more grateful of everything.
And I know obviously that's very touching and sad and really hits home with a lot of people. But on the other side of it, you also have a daughter too. You spoke very, highly of what it's meant to be a father. Just talk about that a little bit too, what that's kind of like, having this journey now of making it to the UFC and being able to support your little daughter like that.
Yeah, she's been the best thing that's happened to our family, not even just me, but my in-laws, my wife, my father. Yeah, having that little girl has just been, yeah, there's really no words to put into how much you love your child, until you have one. But it's yeah, best, greatest blessing we've ever had.
All right, so let's talk about this fight now here a little bit. Obviously, not a lot to break down here, only 74 seconds of action. So I guess let's start with this point before we get into the very quick finish that it was. I know you did slip a few times inside of the octagon. I was just wondering, was there like a field of the octagon that you were slipping with, or kind of just take everybody kind of through what was going on with that?
Yeah, I was thinking I might have had a little issue with my knee. I think that was in part of it too, and then just Ellie was just strong as shit too. So yeah, just yeah, falling down three times. I think two times one time he punched me, the other time he caught a kick. So yeah, just getting my land legs, I guess.
Well, it didn't matter how many times you fell because you ended up getting the job done. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Take us through that finish now. Of course, obviously, the armbar finish there. He kind of fell his way back into it, which was probably pretty awesome that he was able to screw up and make that horrible mistake
Okay.
there. Just take everybody
Yeah.
through that finish.
Yeah, so respectfully, I disagree with DC. I mean, if you kind of listen to the commentary, his elbow never cleared. So when I had him in the armbar, he should have kept stacking. He should have kept punching. But from the point where I cinched the armbar, there was constant pressure on it, and the only time I extended my hips is when I got the tap. So, yeah, respectfully, I kind of think I disagree with DC a little bit in the commentary. Um, Even Ellie was saying the same thing. I talked to him for half an hour after the fight, and he never said his he was out of the armbar and he came back into it. But yeah, just jujitsu, man. That's my base. I love jujitsu, and yeah, it's got me this far.
So did you get to speak to DC at all after the fight and kind of break all that down with them, or not too much?
No, I didn't. Because I didn't even really get to hear the commentary till we got back to the hotel and listened to it. I got to see a lot of my friends arguing online with people on Facebook, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, so no hate. I just respectfully, I kind of disagree with it.
All right, man, let's go here now. Obviously, great performance there, quick performance there, and quick performances are a thing that you're known for here. So I made sure to write down the times here. Longest fight, 4 minutes, 13 seconds. Every other fight, under 90 seconds. So you're not obviously not getting paid by the minute, that's for sure.
No. Yeah.
Obviously, you make up for the time very quick there. So just talk about that, how you're able to get those guys out of the cage so fast like that.
Yeah, I think it comes down to preparation and training too, man. Like I really do. I'm just like constantly looking for finishes. Like when I have these fights, I'm not thinking about, winning rounds. I'm thinking about winning positions and looking for those checkmates in all those positions. And also too, I think it's kind of a testament to our preparation. You know, I look at fighting too. It's a lot like a skills test at the end of the day. That's really all it is, a skills test, mental skills, physical skills. And I just feel, we prepare so hard. So it's like when you go out there and you bust your ass and you study for a test, and then when you test it, you ace it when you're well prepared. So I think it's a combination of all those things.
Obviously, great sports saying from the great John Wooden, UCLA basketball coach, right? Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yeah.
I like that you mentioned, too, about the guys at the gym helping you with the preparation, making sure everything's always on point. Let's give a shout out to those guys in the gym, too. Obviously, very helpful to you in your career up to this point. Just talk about them, what they mean to you.
Yeah, especially for this camp. There's an amateur fighter, James Ford. He'll be making his pro debut pretty soon. But he wrestled at heavyweight. Now he's a 205er. He helped me tremendously with this fight camp, man. It was a great stylistic matchup. I mean, he's the same kind of wrestler as Ellie. So yeah, he ragdolled me around for 3 months. And even though I didn't get to use some of the counter wrestling and stuff, I felt real confident after training with him. And then Bruce Whitehead, man, he's a little 55er, but he will be in the UFC. Mark my words. He just got his third pro win yesterday with Fury, and yeah, it was fun. We went through this whole camp together, and yeah, there's so many more guys at war. I mean, I really just feel like I'm the first of this new wave of war. My teammate Rain, she's fighting September 5th on Contenders. So yeah, it's a room full of just young, hungry killers.
And now that you're in the UFC, I'm just going to get you prepared for this question right now, because I guarantee you before your debut, everybody's going to be asking this question here. Giving your finish rate here, they're going to ask, well, what's going to happen if you ever go outside the first round there? So let's address that now before you even make your UFC debut. Obviously, the way that you talk about your teammates, everything, you guys are obviously very well prepared down there. Just talk about the gas tank and how it is, and it's not just you. Any fighter, when they're known for getting finishes in the first round, people do.
No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I bust my ass. I trained so hard, man. And the amount of running I did for this fight, me and my wife are kind of joking because like you said, my last 4 fights were under 90 seconds. And just the hundreds of miles that I've accumulated in these last 2 years of running but yeah, no, I have a gas tank. I promise.
All right, man, let's get into the good stuff here of the victory now. Your family was in attendance. They did pan over to them. Everybody was so happy, cheering you on and everything there. What was that like, just being able to see them after you got the contract and be able to celebrate with everybody?
Yeah, priceless. Just, man, like I said, 2 years ago, I was fighting in front of 100 people in Arkansas. So to be here now, and it's just, yeah, it's they always believed in me, and just for them to get to see that happen and stuff, yeah, it's amazing. And my parents, my wife's been to all my fights, I think, but one. So she's been along for the ride, and it's been a hell of a ride so far.
All right, so how'd you guys celebrate then afterwards? I know you got to stay in Vegas a few extra days. Just talk about the celebration, what it was like in Vegas.
Yeah, so the night of the fight, I just had dinner with my my management team and my wife and my family. Yeah, I only had a couple beers actually. I practiced some moderation, so yeah, it wasn't too much. We had fun. We went and we did the Fremont thing, we did the New Vegas thing, and that was cool. And then my wife won like $800 playing blackjack, so that was cool. And yeah, so we're like, we're getting out, we're getting out. But yeah, it was an awesome trip.
Hey, she had better luck than I had in Vegas. I was just there in May, and I alternated winning and losing every day, but it was never $800. That's awesome that she got to win it there. I know you said that you drank a few beers. What's the beer of choice?
Oh, Shiner Bock all day.
Oh, okay. I'm a Miller Lite fan, the fine Pilsner.
I won't hold that against you. It is a champagne beer, so okay. But yeah.
All right, man. I really appreciate the time. Just last thing, I guess, before we start wrapping things up here, that I want to ask. Obviously, I know it's all still very fresh to you, getting this contract and everything. Is there a plan to get your debut in maybe sooner than later, get in by the end of the year, or are you just kind of letting that all play out however it does?
Yeah, I'd like to have a couple months, keep preparing. I want to make a trip out to Thailand too, do some training out there. I went once before in like 2018. I had a great time. So, yeah, a couple months by the end of the year, maybe two fights by the end of the year would be awesome.
Awesome, man. Appreciate the time. Just last thing before you head out for the day now, you want to go ahead and plug your social media. This way people know where to follow you at. If you have management and sponsorships, all that good stuff that you got to plug, take it away, man.
Yeah, so it's Savage 185 Reese is on all social media platforms, mainly Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, I have the best management in the game, man. Iridium, the opportunities these guys, not even have gotten just for me, but for all their fighters, the best in the fight game, absolutely. And I'm so happy to be with them. And Shiner Bach, man, Shiner Beer, Spetzel Brewery, they sponsored me. They threw a big celebration at the brewery yesterday for me. And yeah, I mean, and then my friends and my family, of course, my training partners, I'm just, the success is all just because I'm surrounded by so many great men and women, and I work hard. I just do my part. So.